everybody. Hey, what's going on? Got Jinhan on, Captain, Christopher, Garth, Bounty. All right. Let me just do a sound check. You guys can hear me, right? Yeah, can everybody hear? Looks like the microphone's working. Hey, Bounty. Sound check, everybody. I'm gonna move this over here. All right, perfect. And, all right, let me just shut that down and open that up. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. Well, hopefully you guys, if you celebrated the holiday, you had a good Thanksgiving. For folks that are in the States or folks that just celebrated in general, and hopefully you didn't eat too much. I actually ate probably more than I should have. But it was a good time with family and friends, so that was cool. Oh, good, Christopher. So you got the first one. Did you get the what did you get, Christopher? Did you get the last wish? Because that one is the kind of like the summation, I guess. If you could only read one between now and when the show starts on the 20th, then the last wish is the one that you definitely want to get. All right, you guys. So I want to start off with some good news. I have been going back and forth with Jason Tobin on, yeah, so the last wish is the one. That good. That's the one you wanted, Christopher. I've been going back and forth with Jason Tobin from Warrior on Instagram, and he's good to go, man. So we just have to like nail down a time for he and I to get together and record. What's going on, Garth? For he and I to get together and record a session. So he's good to go. I was actually going to put up his message on Instagram. Then I thought to myself, if he sees it, I don't know if he wants me to do that. But I have been talking to him, and he's ready to record to get into Warrior. He wanted to do it this weekend, but I couldn't because there's a 13-hour time difference between Jason and I. He's in Hong Kong, so but it will happen. So that's good. All right, guys. So there's a couple of things I wanted to get into, and I kind of wanted to get into them in somewhat of in order. So let me scoot over here. Yeah, you got Christopher. You got like 20 days, man. 20 days to finish it. So yeah, you got them, and you need to make sure you look at them in order. You know what, Garth? I have not heard anything new about Into the Badlands. As far as what I know, man, I mean the show is canceled, and that's that. I haven't heard anything new about it. The last time I spoke to Daniel, which was on Instagram as well, trying to get him to come back on, was maybe a couple of weeks ago. And from what I understand, there are no plans for the show to be picked up. Maybe someone else in the community knows something different, but I've not heard anything new about. Sorry, you guys, let me move the microphone over. About Into the Badlands. So I think it might be a wrap, at least from what I know. Oh man, Jinhan, so you're almost there, getting ready for The Witcher. And I don't know if you guys were on last week, but last week we looked at a video. I think most of you guys were here, and they were saying basically the combat in The Witcher makes the combat in Game of Thrones look like two drunk men at a bar fight. So if that's the case, The Witcher's going to be a beast. I'm telling you, The Witcher. I know. See, I started to get on a rant when we're talking about The Witcher. Like, The Witcher could easily run for 10 seasons. If they took, probably more than that, if they took the material from the books and they just went off the material from the books, The Witcher could have like a 10-season run. Easy. Easy. And from what I understand in this first season, where I think we have only 8 episodes, it's not going to follow the book directly, but we're actually going to do a little bit of a character dive, if I'm correct about that. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments, but man, this first season of The Witcher should be really, really good. I'm telling you, it is Netflix heavy hitter. It is their big show. It's the one that they're planning, or they're hoping, I think, puts them on the map. Yeah, that's it, Jinhan. But I heard that last one, Seasons of Storms, is like, I mean, you don't really need to read that one. I heard Seasons of Storms for The Witcher really gives you kind of more in-depth detail. But if you've read the others before, then you've got the complete saga. You know everything. So, man, so Jinhan is saying, the showrunner said she has 7 seasons planned for The Witcher, and she can get every bit of 7 seasons out of it. I'm telling you, man, The Witcher should be really, really good. Hey, what's going on, Dory? You know what? I have not seen Queen and Slim yet, Dory, and I couldn't because my wife is making me wait for her, so I can't see it. I got to see it with her. But I heard some stuff, and I won't say anything because I don't want to spoil it. But I heard it was actually pretty good. What's going on, Adric? Yep, The Witch is close. It's around the corner. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on now with The Witcher because, like I said, The Witcher is going to be Netflix's heavy hitter. And then some of the other shows that some of us are watching now, to me, are starting to fade a little bit. Like The Watchmen is becoming less interesting to me now. It's not bad, but I'm not super excited about it. I will tell you though, let me tell you what I am excited about. We're going to talk more about this too. I'm super excited about this here. Let me just jump forward. I don't know how many of you guys are watching C, but man, after the last episode of C I was like, man, this is really, really good. And it is kind of reminiscent of ITB a little bit. It doesn't have the martial arts in it, but the feel and tone of it kind of reminds you of ITB in the sense it is set in a dystopian future. But C is super good, man. Like when I saw this last episode, Lavender Road, I was like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So if you don't have Apple Plus, well, you can't see it obviously, but I would almost say that the price of Apple Plus, and I think it's $5 a month. I think it's $5 a month. I might be getting that confused with Disney Plus. It's worth it because C is fantastic. Like now, if they don't get a couple of seasons out of this, I will be surprised. It's really, really good. It's really good. Yeah, Christopher, C C is amazing, man. It is amazing. And this last episode man, it was so good. Well, let me see how many people are watching C. Let me just like see in the comments how many people are actually watching C. Yeah, so it's $5 a month. Yeah, man, Adric, make sure you watch it. Everybody, I'm telling you guys, if you can shell out the $5 a month, then you got to make sure that you're watching C. And I think actually you get the first month or 7 days for free on Apple Plus TV. It's worth it, man. C is fantastic. It's good, Captain. It's good. Hey, Bounty, so you're watching it too. As a matter of fact, it's funny because Now I'm wondering what's going on with some of the stuff that we've seen in C. And I wasn't expecting the twist. Like I wasn't expecting the oh man, what's her name? I forgot Jason Momoa's wife to actually be the Queen's sister. Like that threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting that. Still trying to figure out with what's going on with that dude that can see outside of the twins. So I'm not sure with all of that. I mean, C has so many good elements in it. It's a really, really good show. It's really good. So if you guys are not watching C, then you definitely need to make sure that you check that out. All right, guys, I want to jump to this real quick too. Let's talk a little bit of Marvel. So we got a couple of Marvel movies on deck. We have, I think, three. We've got like three, I believe, coming out this year in 2020. I think the first one that we're going to get is Black Widow, and which I think right now is confirmed that Taskmaster is going to be the main villain in that. And if I'm wrong about that, somebody correct me. And then I think after after Black Widow, I believe we have the Eternals. I'm really excited about the Eternals. I'll tell you why in a second. And then after that, I think, is Shang-Chi coming out this year? Is that 2020? Yeah, she did. Gina did beat the Mandalorian up pretty much. She definitely got the best of them in that. She was actually really good in that episode too. That's right. You know what? He could have, Christopher. He could have wanted all the attention, but there's more going on there with that dude. We're talking about C again. There's more going on there with that dude than that. But you can tell though that he has some emotional deficits. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what his motive is yet. I haven't really figured him out, and I'm curious to know what the captain's going to do. The one that the Queen sent out. The witch hunter is going to do with the Queen now, because the Queen is good and crazy. The Queen reminds me a little bit of Quinn. I mean, they're different characters, but she really does. She reminds me a little bit of Quinn, just a bit nuts, but fearless and all of that good stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with her as well. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading comments here. I think you're right about that too, Captain. I'm looking forward to Black Widow. I actually wish we had we had that movie a little bit earlier than we're getting it. I'm happy we're getting it, period. But I wish we actually had that movie before she kicked the bucket. So that's right. Baba Boss for Prez 2020. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say more, but I'm not even gonna go there. Me too. I think, man, I think C on so many different levels, Jinhan is really good. I think the writing's good. I think the cinematography is good for it. And I just think the whole idea is really interesting. And I said last week that C could either go either way. If the writing got bad, the whole thing could kind of fall apart. But from what I saw these past couple of episodes, man, I was like, this thing just keeps getting better and better. And it's really cool to see them operate in that world without sight. And then when you bring the folks into it, of course, that do have sight, and to see how they play that off of each other, I think is awesome. Like when oh man, I'm sorry, I can't remember the names, but when the witch hunter was looking at the boy that could see, forgive me guys for not for not remembering names, and he told the boy, he was like, listen, I've killed more people basically than you can even think about, because it seemed like the dude was going to come at him, but man, it's really really good. Adrian, what channel is that on? Or not channel, or where, or what platform is it on? V Wars. I hadn't heard that before. I should probably write that down actually. Let's see, V Wars. Also, I have a question too. Some that you guys might know about as well. Does anybody know what's happening with the New Mutants? I know that it says on paper it's supposed to come out in April 2020, but is that still a go, or are they still kind of refilming and filming some stuff? I'm asking because my girl is in there. Anya Taylor Joy is in there, and I love Anya Taylor Joy. I was kind of looking that up. I wonder if I have anything up over here about that. Because I think I don't know, Jinhan. That's a good question about Jeremy Morel's Kingdom and see. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with there. I still really haven't put my finger on him as well. I could see that though. I could see it being like an Azra situation where basically all the folks that can see are, the folks that are deemed worthy to live or whatever he's going to do with them, and everybody else who cannot. I don't know. I'm not sure really what's going on there with him. Haven't put my finger on it yet. So it'd be interesting to see too if he's like the progenitor, or are there other people out there that were doing what he was doing as well. But he seems to be the only one right now. I don't know. I haven't even seen The Irishman yet, Dory, because it's so long. I gotta wait till I mean, I guess I could have done it over the break, but I gotta wait till I have time to really sit down and look at it. That could be, Christopher. It could be that Jerry Morrell is off his rocker too. I don't know. It's hard because we don't know that much about him, and we've only seen like splashes of him when he's been giving instructions to the twins or something like that. But we don't know a whole bunch about him. But what we do know is that a lot of people are interested in who he is. So he could be crazy too. He could be like a pilgrim character. All right, so New Mutants is still coming out. I guess it's still slated to come out in 2020. I wasn't sure because I know that they had some production issues with it. I'm actually looking really forward to New Mutants. So I think hopefully if they get everything right, I think it should be. I think it could be pretty good because I like some of the folks that they have acting in New Mutants. So I'm kind of excited about that. Yeah, you know what, Dory? I like Anya Taylor Joy almost in everything she does. I just think she's an amazing actress. I really like her in a lot of stuff that she's done. Does anybody happen to know also who the main villain is in Blade? Let me see if I can pull that up. Actually, we might be able to look at that together. Um, all right. See if we get any. it doesn't say. I don't see anything. Yeah, you know what, Jinhan, I actually liked the trailer for the New Mutants. That's one of the things that I did like about it. The fact that it's like a little bit of a different vibe. It does give kind of a horror vibe to it. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. Plus, I like the fact that we are getting quote unquote more mutants in the Marvel universe right now, so to speak, outside of just the X-Men who we're waiting for. But hey, what's going on, General? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it does. He does kind of sound like Pilgrim Adric. We're talking about C General since you're just hopping on, but I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. It really will, because I have a feeling there's a lot of stuff like we don't know, a lot of twists and turns we don't know about with C. A lot of stuff up in the air. So Jinhan was asking, what villain do people want to see in Blade? I don't know, man. That's a good question. What villain would I want to see in Blade? I don't know. I forgot. I forgot the vampire's name. This man, you guys might know because I didn't really follow Blade in the comics a whole bunch, but he was like the father of vampires, and I know he was always a match for Blade, but I can't remember his name. Let me see. Let's look it up real quick. All right, so here are some choices, considering the question that Jinhan just asked. So these are, according to CBR, these will be Blade's top 10 villains. Blackout. I don't know who half of these folks are, actually, but... So Blackout's one. General, you're saying Dracula. Who else we got? Draconis is another. Vampire X. Lucas Cross. I've seen that name before too. Klaus. That's actually not bad, Adric. Wouldn't mind seeing that myself. Morbius. I wouldn't mind seeing Morbius. That would be pretty interesting. Check him out and see what he would be like against Blade. I don't even know who this is. Xrus, I guess that's how you pronounce that. Then Lilith. And Deacon Frost. I don't know who that is either. I don't know about that, Jinhan. Maybe they can't use Morbius. I'm not sure. But I guess that would make sense, though. Yeah, that would make sense because he's kind of he must still be with Sony because I know he's part of that like villain verse that they're trying to do with Spider-Man. So Varney, I don't know who this guy is either. And then I'm betting the last one is probably Dracula. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw the Blade films, but I wasn't a huge Blade fan. But I was a Wesley Snipes fan back in the day. That was really only for the butt kicking though. So, oh, let me ask you guys this. I don't know how many of you guys saw the post I put out, and I don't know how true it is, but they were saying that it's possible, and I don't know how many people are familiar with him, that they might have not Reed Richards, but Franklin Richards in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. So I wonder what you thought about that. If you're not familiar with who Franklin Richards is, he's the son of Sue and Reed Richards, and he's a beast. Like he will be, I guess, classified as Omega level mutant. I mean, like I said, if you look him up, he's gonna be in everybody's top five or top 10 of the most powerful mutants in the Marvel universe. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull him up real quick so that you guys can get a profile of him. But they're talking about him possibly being in the Fantastic Four, and if that's the case, I think that's awesome. The argument is though that he is one of those people that would be too powerful for um, the MCU, but I don't think he would be. That's my observation of that. So I'm trying to pull him up real quick so you guys, if you're not familiar with him, get a quick read up. None of these sites are any good though. Are you guys familiar with Reed Richards or no? Just curious. Not Reed Franklin. I keep saying Reed. I was trying to pull up like a little write up of him, but oh yeah, of course I've seen Zombieland 2, General. It was hilarious. He would so Jin Han, he would be on par with Jean Grey. Put it this way, there is a time in the comic books where he made Galactus his herald. So you know what Galactus did to the Silver Surfer, he did the same thing to Galactus. He's a monster. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to pull up something here, but nothing's really coming up. Like he's insanely powerful. It's crazy. So, for example, if you look at his stats, I'll pull this up. So you can look at his power status here, and you can see he's off the charts everywhere. So his biggest asset, or what he's known for, is reality manipulation. Basically, if he thinks it can happen, and he's also known for having control over over almost all the elements of the universe. So if you can see here, like those are his power stats for intelligence. Let me see if I got myself in the way. Let me move myself up and see if I can move over. And basically, those are his powers there. It's crazy. I know that's not the best. That's not the best profile. Let me see if I can find a better one. Hey, what's going on, James? Yeah, I mean he's a beast. So, but here's my argument though, because some people, for people who would say that he's too powerful for the MCU. I would argue that we already got folks in the MCU that are on that level. What's going on, Javon? For example, you have the Grandmaster that's already in the MCU, who is virtually infinite in power, and also can't die. So my whole argument about that is, I say bring him in. I say if he bring him in and bring in, I would not let any the whole idea of any being too powerful for the MCU stopping Marvel from bringing them into the MCU, because my whole thing is that just expands the Marvel universe and allows you to tell more stories. So I would say bring them in. One of the reasons I heard that the MCU is not going to do, or might not do, or we might not ever see a Secret Wars movie is because of the Beyonder, who is like crazy powerful too. But it doesn't matter to me. Bring them in, and then just make sure you write it in a way that it works. So anyway, when I heard that, I was excited because I hope that it actually happens. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, there he is. All right, let me. So he has some deficits. It really does depend on when you catch him. Like if you catch him as a child, then he's easier to beat because he doesn't really have full control over his powers. Hey, what's going on, Cobra? Cobra probably would know. I'd be surprised if Cobra didn't know who Franklin Richards was, but no. Well, I will tell you, if they bring in Franklin Richards, Captain Marvel is not even in the same league as Franklin Richards. Not even close. So like even right there, like if you read this small write up on him, and I think this is like a top 15 list of Marvel's most powerful heroes, and Franklin Richards is like number 5. So, um, there's no, like, she's not even in the same class as him. Not even close. But he does have some deficits. I mean, technically, if you can get to him, I mean, he can be harmed physically if you can get past all the stuff that he can do. So he does have some deficits. And I don't even really care. Like, I don't care if Marvel nerfs him a little bit. I just want to see him in, just because it just gives us potential for broader storytelling within the MCU. They can nerf him a little bit. They did that with the Beyonder. The Beyonder used to be untouchable, and then they changed him. They nerfed him a lot in the comics. So I just want to see him in there. That's all I'm saying. Man, I would love to. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, boy, I hope that's true, because that would be fantastic. Anyway, I digress. But that's just a little write up on him. Cause I mean, you can see, like, if you look, where's my mouse? There it is. I mean, look at the company of the people that are on the list with him. Franklin Richards is number 5. Number 4 is Eternity. Number 3 is the Living Tribunal. Number 2 is the Beyonder, and number 1 is the One Above All. So that just gives you an idea of how powerful he will be. Okay, there's Cobra chiming in. I was just talking about that, Cobra, how he made Galactus his herald. I don't know how they would do it. Just to fill you in, Cobra, we were talking about Franklin Richards possibly joining the MCU, being in the next in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. I don't know how they would. I don't know how they would deal with him, honestly, Jin Han. I mean, they could. You know what they could do? They could do a situation, because I feel like all of this really depends on writing and how you write a story. But they could do a situation like in Watchmen, the movie, and how they dealt with Doctor Manhattan, who still was vastly superior to everybody else that he dealt with. But Ozymandias was able to kind of come at him a different way, and essentially was able to not subdue him, but to get what he wanted. So they could come at Richards a whole bunch of different ways, but I don't know. I don't know how they would do it. But all I'm saying is I'd like to see them give it a shot. I would love to see him in the MCU. I have not heard anything yet about Justice League 2, Adric. I don't know. Maybe someone else in the community has, but I haven't heard anything yet about Justice League 2. Although there is some buzz going on. I don't know if you guys heard this or not about Michael B. Jordan being in talks to play Superman. And from what I understand, with what I read, he wasn't able to really entertain it because he had so much stuff on his plate, which is an interesting thing too, because I think that Henry Cavill is still interested in seeing what can happen with Superman. But I know that they were in talks with Michael B. Jordan about possibly playing that role. Now I don't know if he would actually, if they would bring him in as Kal-El or Superman as we know him, or there is a black Superman in an alternate universe in DC, and I don't know if they would bring him in that fashion. I don't know how they would do it, but I know he was in talks about possibly playing Superman. You know what? I'm not even worried about it, James. I think that now that we have Fantastic Four in the hands of Feige and company, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be all right. But I hear what you're saying, because the ones prior were not really good. They weren't. And the one that I was most disappointed with, because he's one of my favorites, was the Silver Surfer. Man, I wanted that one. I wanted to be so much more than it was. And the Silver Surfer, by the way, is a good example of bringing someone in that is, in really all intents and purposes, you could classify as being OP, but they modified him. They modified him too much in the Fantastic Four. But there's another being that's very powerful. I could see that, Jinhan. I could see that. I definitely could see that. That is, if we ever see Flashpoint, Cobra. Cobra was talking about when a Justice League 2 movie might come out. He was saying 2025 if you didn't catch it in the comments. And then he was talking about, but that would probably be after Black Adam and Flashpoint. Are we ever going to see Flashpoint? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. All right, guys, I want to change gears a little bit and ask a question about the Mandalorian. So, then we can come back to what we were talking about before. I want to know some theories about what you guys think is going on with Baby Yoda. I know that some people said that he possibly could be a clone, but does anybody have any new thoughts or theories about what might be going on with Baby Yoda? I'm just curious. I have some, but I just want to know what you think, especially for folks that are out there that are Star Wars aficionados. I don't know if Christopher is still on or not, but I know he's a Star Wars guy, and we've got some other folks on that are too. Any ideas of what's going on with Baby Yoda? Just curious. All right. So while you guys are thinking about that, let me tell you my thoughts about this because I know that one of the big prevailing theories is that he is a clone. Um, I don't think that he is though. I think that he is a natural member or a real member, for the lack of a better word, of the race. And I my notion is that the rest of these 8 episodes and maybe some beyond this will really focus on his role in this first season. And I think we're also going to pivot to see basically the Mandalorian's main focus to be to protect him above all else. But I don't think he's a clone. I do think though that maybe the theory that people were saying is that they want to clone him could be possible, but I don't think that he himself is a clone. Those are just my thoughts. Okay, so Christopher's still thinking clone. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Jinhan. I think he's probably one of the last surviving members of Yoda's race. I haven't seen Queen and Slim yet, Cobra. I have to wait. My wife wants to see it. She wants to see it with me. I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it, because I haven't seen it yet. We'll see, Dory. We'll see. I also have a theory about this episode too, the last one that passed, for those of you guys who have seen it, because a lot of people were saying that they thought it was a filler episode, but I don't think so. I don't think that any episode that we've seen of The Mandalorian so far will be classified as a filler episode. To me, they have all chained together very well. They've all felt like necessary to the narrative. And plus, when you have an episode that's 30 minutes long, essentially 37 minutes long, eh, it's hard for everything not to be very purposeful. And from all that we've seen with how this show has been written so far, I think that every episode is important within the grand scheme of things. Like, I think that with this episode, number one, I think that, of course, we're going to see Gina Carano again. There was a little bit of fuss about being not upset, but wishing she had more screen time, and I think we definitely will see her again. I think that the leader of the village, I can't remember her name, we're going to see her again. There's no way that she's able to shoot that well without something else going on with her. And then I also think that with what the Mandalorian said about the stuff that was going on in that planet, or on that planet, that planet is going to be significant again, and we will see that planet again within like this first season before it all wraps up. Yeah, I don't see. I hadn't even heard that either, Cobra, about Queen and Slim. Like I said, I didn't know much about it before I saw the trailers for it, and the trailers look pretty good. But I haven't seen the movie itself, so I don't really even know the backstory of the writer at all. So I got to look into that. Oh, really, Dory? Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Baby Yoda survived season 1. I wouldn't think that they're gonna kill him off. I didn't think that he was gonna die in this last season. I knew that something was gonna happen. I didn't know if he was gonna put his hand up and stop the bolt or not. But I didn't think he was gonna die. I didn't remotely think that. That could be, Christopher. It could be that the scientists wanted to clone him. But the interesting thing about that is that he I mean, he seemed to have a different desire for Baby Yoda than the client did, because the client was either dead or alive. It didn't matter, but that scientist seemed to want to protect him. So to what end, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it would have been for Baby Yoda's good, or there was some other kind of purpose going on within him. But I got to check that out, Cobra Waves. Let me write that down, as a matter of fact. I already got V Wars, and now let me write down Waves. Yeah, I don't think so either. You know what? And it's funny, Jinhan, because I think that Favreau has done a lot with Baby Yoda to make us just really like love him emotionally, and the fact that they're so connected, that the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda are so connected. You're right. I think he's probably going to be with them anywhere he goes. So, but here's the thing. Let me ask you this, because I had a discussion about this with someone over the Thanksgiving holiday. Do you think that the Mandalorian will have the same impact on audiences if he takes his helmet off? If we actually get to see his face, do you think that that will change the way that people feel about the Mandalorian? Because right now everybody is talking about how well received he is and how well he emotes and conveys emotion and really kind of pulls you into his character, with the fact that he always has the helmet on. So you never really get to see his facial expressions and things like that. Do you think that if he takes that helmet off, that will almost negatively affect how much people enjoy that character? I'm wondering what you guys think about that. We were talking about that this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, Gina Carano is kind of fine. I followed her when she was doing MMA too. I didn't think about that, Christopher. He does know how the trackers work, so how could he ever leave him behind? Maybe he thought when he got to that planet in particular, that he I guess he just thought maybe he didn't have anything to worry about. I don't know. That's a good question. Or maybe he thought if he left him on a ship that he wouldn't have anything to worry about. I don't know if his ship can nullify the tracking beacon. That's a good question. But I'm really excited now for these next 4 episodes of The Mandalorian, because I want to see them bring in John. I think Esposito is his name. I think it's John Esposito. I always remember him from oh man, I can't remember the name of that show. I was thinking about he was in a Spike Lee movie too. Um, let's see what his name is. If you're making a list of your favorite anime, I hope that One Punch Man is on that list. I think you're right, Jinhan. But the thing is, so Jinhan was saying, and he thinks the fact that the Mandalorian always has a helmet on gives him that level of mysticism, kind of like Judge Dredd. But I don't think he's gonna have it on. I think that the reason that there's so much talk, and Christopher or whoever else can set me straight if I'm wrong about this, about him taking the helmet off, I feel like it's almost just a build up for us, because I think by the end of this season, at some point, that helmet's coming off, and we're going to see who he is. I mean, he's taken it off before then, but we've just not seen his face, and we're going to see who he is. And it'll probably happen at the end of the season, too. But I'm wondering what the impact is that will have on on just how they feel about him. I feel like that's really that's the reason why there's so much talk about it. I don't know. Maybe there's something like is there something about is there something about the Mandalorian code where the helmets are not supposed to come off? They talked about that a little bit in the dialogue, but then I've heard some other folks that like are much more versed on Star Wars than me say that there have been plenty of cases where the Mandalorians have taken their helmet off. So it's not like a thing that's written into the code. So I'm not sure why they're making such a big deal out of it, except to think that they really want us to be in anticipation of him actually taking it off. But I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, One Punch Man is awesome. And the only gripe I have about One Punch Man is that the only language I speak is English, and sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with the subtitles. But when they do the English dub, it's I really love One Punch Man. I never heard a Gantz story. One of my favorites is a super old one. And again, I'm not super into anime. I have a friend of mine that she's really into anime, but I do love Fist of the North Star. That I actually own that. That's really good. Yeah, I think you're right, Jinhan. I think that if he does remove the helmet, it is gonna a bit of the mysticism will be lost. And if he does do that, if Fabro has him remove the helmet, it'll be interesting to see how he compensates for that with the writing to really keep us embracing the character. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, James, they could be tracking the Mandalorian also, but I think it's probably more likely that they are tracking Baby Yoda. I think if they were tracking the Mandalorian, I think they would have taken him out that episode, or they at least would have shot at him. But the fact that it looks like that shot was going towards Baby Yoda, we don't really know because Carano takes him out before. But the last thing we see is the guy aiming towards Baby Yoda. But I think it's Baby Yoda. I think that the bounty's probably really high on him, and I think that that's probably more so the case than the Mandalorian. But it could be both of them. We were just talking about The Witcher, James. Got 20 days. 20 days till it drops. I'm still salty about Netflix, which I think is going to drop the whole season at once. I know a lot of you guys are happy about that because you can binge the whole thing. But I really do think like what Disney Plus is doing with The Mandalorian, I think they've got something on their hands. I know that's not Netflix MO, but I just think it's such a great way to drop such an epic show. I think you should make the fans wait. I mean, do what Game of Thrones did. And I think that that The Witcher is going to be good enough to pull that off without question. I've seen all of the Donnie Yen Ip Man movies except for the last one, the latest one I haven't seen yet. So I think that's the one with Scott Adkins in it. I think I gotta check that out because I'm a big fan of Scott Adkins. Oh, I wonder when that releases here. I'm definitely gonna check that out. I'm looking forward to that. He's a beast. Donnie Yen, Donnie Yen is a beast. I mean, almost everything he does is good. Whether he's doing something that's like more traditional or more kind of like the classic kung fu stuff, or the modern stuff like Flashpoint, that man, he's a beast, and he can act too. He's such a good performer too. He's got Donnie Yen is really good. Yeah, that's the one you're saying. Jin Han is coming out this month, so I'm looking forward to that because I've wanted to see he and Scott Atkins do some stuff for a long time because I like Scott Atkins too. I would love to see him do some stuff with Michael Jai White as well, but we'll see. I never got into Naruto. A lot of people talked about that, Adri, but I never really got into it. Did anybody see the show Mortal? I think, or was Mortel on Netflix? Did anybody watch that? It was pretty decent. I just finished it the other day. I think it was like 6 episodes. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. You know what? It's funny you say that, Jehan. It reminds me of on Sundays in the evenings. My friend he has a martial arts school. He has a kung fu school, and he opens it up to everybody. So, and I'll go from time to time. So you get folks there from like all different types of disciplines. Like a couple Sundays ago, there was a capoeira guy there. There's always some kickboxers, some karate guys, some jiu-jitsu guys. There's always kung fu guys there, and they're all sparring each other. And it's a really cool thing to see because you get to see the different styles, and occasionally you get some boxers there too. You get to see the different styles go against each other, and it's fascinating to see how they deal with the different styles. It's really cool, and nobody's hurting anybody. Everybody's respectful, and nobody's trying to kill anybody. But it's really cool to see that. No, I know Cobra. I know Atkins did some stuff with Michael Jai White, but I don't think that Michael Jai White has ever done anything with Donnie Yen. That's what I'm saying. Like I would love to see those two in something together. Yeah, so I don't know if I said Michael Jai White and Scott Atkins, that's not what I meant. I meant Michael Jai White and Donnie Yen. I don't think they've done anything together. Also, I wanted to ask you guys, I'm curious of the Marvel movies that are coming out, is there one that you're looking forward to more than anything else? I know for me, I'm really looking forward to the Doctor Strange movie. Probably, I don't know if that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's more so than any other ones, but I'm really looking forward to the Doctor Strange movie because I like the fact that he brings magic into the MCU. So I've been a big fan since a kid of Doctor Strange too. I think Blade James is coming out. I actually just had that up too. Hopefully I didn't turn it down. Um, I want to say Blade's coming out in 2021, but let me, because I know Black Widow starts everything off in 2020, and I think there are only 3 movies in 2020, and I don't think Blade is one of them. I think Blade is 2021. I'm looking for it right now actually, because I still had the thing up. I can actually share it with you guys. Um, nope, that's not it. So I don't know if it says. Maybe someone might put it in the comments before we find it, but I'm pretty sure it's 2021. Actually, that's a good point too. To see how they introduce monsters into the MCU. Didn't think about that, James. I am actually planning on doing that, Dory. One of my top movies for 2019. I will tell you right now though that probably coming in at 1 or 2 for 2019, I can tell you would be Ford versus Ferrari. If you haven't seen it, man, oh man, oh man, that movie is so good. Oh boy, it's good. Yeah, I don't see a date on here, James, and I suppose I could do a little bit more digging, but I mean I guess you can Google that too. I'm pretty sure it's 2021. I think is when Blade comes out, because I don't even think they started filming for it yet. I could be wrong. No, yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Christopher. It was amazing, man. Like I had no idea how good it was gonna be. Didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but I just remember walking away thinking, man, this this movie is awesome. And for the people who said that the movie really puts you in the driver's seat, it puts you behind the wheel, it absolutely does. It is a very, very good movie. Yeah, I agree. Seeing both of them together, Doctor Strange and Wanda or the Scarlet Witch together, I think is gonna be awesome. I think, man, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And plus, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard we might get some surprises in that movie too. So I don't know, we might get some folks coming into the MCU that we don't really know about. I heard that, and I have no idea if it's true or not. And I don't really, like, they didn't mention names, they just said we might get some surprises. So, you know what? It's funny, Jinhan, because I'm apprehensive and a little bit hopeful about Love and Thunder. I'm apprehensive because I'm not sure how well um oh, I can't remember, Natalie Portman can pull off the lead if that's what she ends up being as a superhero. I'm not a little scary about that. But then I'm also interested to see what they do with the story here. The potential here, I think, is pretty good. It's just, I don't, oh man, I hope she can pull it off. I really hope she can. So we'll see. Yep, Alita was good too. I really liked Alita, Chris, and I hopefully we get a sequel to Alita soon. I feel like Alita was actually, even though people liked it, I feel like it was much more underrated than it should have been. Okay, so you thought it was pretty good, but you would give it you'd give it top 10, not top 5, Cobra. I would definitely give it top 5, man. I right now for me, man, Ford versus Ferrari is like running neck and neck between that and Joker as my possibly my number one spot, honestly. I created a Discord because Cobra told me to, but I'm still fooling around with it. But I actually do have it kind of semi up, but it's not really fully done yet. So James, I don't know if you caught that, but Cobra just sent you a message. I guess he's saying 2021 or 2022. It looks like is a scheduled date for the next phase. So maybe I don't know if Cobra's saying that that's when we'll see the Blade movie or not. I think that's what he's saying though. We sure should have. I would have taken a sequel to Alita over Dark Fate any day. Alita was really good. I really enjoyed Alita, but I like Christoph Waltz too. So, but I thought that the visuals in Alita were really good too. It was really well done. I still have not seen Parasite, Dory. I gotta see. What is Parasite classified as? Is it a comedy? Is it like a dark comedy? But I heard Parasite was really, really good. I still haven't seen it though. Man, so much to catch up on. Oh, that reminds me. Has anyone seen Servant on? I think it's on Apple Plus TV. That's the one I was talking about last week. That I guess Shyamalan. I know he produced it. I don't know if he wrote and directed it, but I saw the first couple of episodes on Apple Plus. It's pretty good, but apparently people are raving about it enough that it's already gotten a season two. It's already in the works, and I think the Apple Plus like just dropped it maybe Friday. I think, but it's pretty good. I actually like Hobbs and Shaw, Christopher. I like Hobbs and Shaw because it was absolutely ridiculous. Like it was totally over the top and just ridiculous. It was just a fun movie to me. Plus, I'm a big fan of The Rock. If but for nothing else, I love his work ethic. So I liked Hobbs and Shaw. I know some people were like, "eh," but I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I will say Servant's kind of weird, Christopher. It's a little bit strange, but I was intrigued with what I saw. I didn't see the final episode. I think Eel was the name of it. I didn't get a chance to watch that, but I am going to watch that. We'll see how it plays out. If it doesn't kind of I guess level out, for the back lack of a better word, like if the whole thing just continues to be very strange, then I don't know. I probably will not will not be able to get into it as much. So yeah, I gotta check out Parasite, Jinhan, because I heard it was really good. I understand, Cobra. I'm just saying there's some good stuff on there. Like C, we were talking about C. You were here, I think, Cobra, when we were talking about C. C is fantastic, man. Like C, to me, C is worth the price of admissions alone. Admission alone, C is really really good. That's a good question, James. So I'm gonna put that out there to everybody. James was saying, do you think that there are any villains within the MCU? He was having a debate with someone that are worth getting their own standalone movie like the Joker. Let me think about that. Are there any villains within the MCU? Well, it wouldn't be a movie like Joker. I will say that, but I think the MCU has some villains that are definitely worth their own standalone movies that could do well. Trying to think of who. Like I think well, I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say Doctor Doom. I think he probably could do well with his own movie. Yeah, I think there are some. Yeah, I agree with you, Cobra. It was cheesy. It was Shaw was cheesy, absolutely ridiculous. One of those no way in the world movies, but it was just fun. It was a summer blockbuster, exactly. Yeah, I'm a super fan of C too. Like I can't wait to see what they do with that show. Man, that show is it's crazy good, Christopher. It's crazy good. Now I'm gonna tell you now. C has me like I'm anticipating the next episode. Like I can't wait to see the next episode. It's kind of the same way I feel about the Mandalorian. I can't wait to see the next episode. It's kind of the same way I felt about Watchmen, and now I'm like, oh well, I'll watch it when I get to it. I'm just not that excited about Watchmen that much anymore. And that I know Cobra, you were saying it was kind of it was drying up for you a little bit. It's not drying up for me, but it's just not. I don't know. It's not carrying the same weight it did for me in the beginning. I don't think it's a bad show. I'm just not as excited about it. But see, I man, I cannot wait for the next episode of that. You know what? A Kingpin movie actually would probably be really good, James. I agree with that. A Kingpin movie, I do think could be a good standalone movie for an MCU villain. I really think that could be a good movie, actually. It's a good idea. Hey, Kenneth, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Darth Maul movie either. That might be pretty good, too. Yeah, I can't wait for Friday. I mean, like now it's to the point, and for me, it kind of works out because I don't have to be at work until late on Friday. Like where I literally could just wake up at 12 because um, here it hits at 12. At 12 o'clock, it's up and ready to go. 12 or one of those is super early, and their episodes are so short. Man, yeah, I might. I don't know. I might try and get that review out like super early on a Friday morning and see how well it does because it's really good. The Mandalorian is great. I agree, Jinhan. I agree. Like that fight between those two would be amazing. But here's my theory. Here's my theory. I don't think that those two are going to fight. I have those two actually coming together. I have those two somehow, some way that story is going to turn, and I have those two actually being on the same side because I don't really think. I think that he is changing. I don't even. How do you pronounce that name? Tamakti, I believe is how you pronounce it. I think that Tamakti is shifting now. Now I think he's really seeing really how nuts the queen is, and I have the two of them, Baba Voss and Tamakti, coming together, especially around the relationship between Baba Voss's wife and Tamakti's oh, what's the word I want? Not servitude, but respect for her as the queen's sister. I totally see that happening. It's good. That last episode to see. Oh, man, it's good. It's good. And the way that it ends, man, is gonna have you like you I mean, you're gonna be mad that you can't move on to the next episode. That's all I'll say. Yeah, the Watchmen does kind of give the like the 100 or the Lost vibe. My issue now, Kenneth, with the Watchmen is that I don't know, man. It's just like it's real. It's interesting. It's fascinating to try and piece everything together. But the forward momentum in that story there to me is just not there anymore. It's just I want to see it, but it's not propelling me forward. Like, man, I can't wait to see the next episode of Watchmen. I mean, we're recording it now, and I'll see it, but I'm not. It's not like with C or the Mandalorian where I can't wait. I don't know. It's lost a lot of its punch to me. So, oh man, have you guys? Now this is a blast from the past for some of you guys that are older. But is anybody watching the the old X-Men animated series on Disney Plus? I forgot how good that series is. So if you guys are not watching that, if you've never seen that, then you definitely need to check that out because it's really good. I still haven't seen. You're talking about the Irishman. Still haven't seen it, Cobra. We were talking about it a little bit earlier before you got on. I know it's crazy long, and some people said that they could have cut out. They could have cut out a lot of it. I haven't seen it, but I heard it's good though. Thanks, Kenneth. I appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't seen the Irishman yet. I'll get around to it. I'm not super. I'm not. I guess I'm not super pressed to see it. I guess I should be because it probably will help the channel because I know a lot of people are talking about it. But I'm not super pressed to get around to looking at it. Yep, the animated series for the X-Men is really good. And when you think about the fact that that was in the 80s, that's pretty good storytelling for the 80s. I mean, I was surprised. I had forgotten how good it was. And I'm sure I've seen all of them from when I was a kid, but man, it's good. Yeah, I've heard some people say, Cobra, that The Irishman was longer than it needed to be. I mean, no one said it's been bad though. Everybody said it's like really good, but I've heard that it's long. I mean, I for the type of movie that it is, if I'm gonna sit there for 3.5 hours, I think I need to see that when I first get up because it's got to be super dynamic for me to make it that long, or else I'll be counting sheep. I'll be asleep. So does anybody have any idea when we're gonna get like some of the newer Marvel stuff, like the What If series and all that kind of good stuff on Disney Plus? I'm really looking forward to those things. I have no idea when they're gonna come out, but I'm hoping we're not talking about years down the road. Man, James, I I hope so. I would love a He-Man movie. I mean, and today with what we can do with CGI, it'd be even better if they did most of it with practical effects. But I would love a He-Man movie, and I think I read somewhere that some folks were trying to make that happen. Does anybody know if you read anything or heard anything about them trying to do a He-Man movie? Boy, I tell you what, they would get my money right away. Right away. A He-Man movie would be awesome, especially if you get good actors and good writing. Man, oh man. Woo, woo, I would love that. I don't think Baby Yoda is going to become a Sith Lord. I don't know what's going on with him. Kenneth, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. I think you hadn't hopped on yet, um, but I don't think he's going to become a Sith Lord. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know. We're all kind of waiting to see what happens there. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Batman animated series was great too. They were both really good shows, man. They were really good shows. That's not bad. An MC villain that deserves their own series would be J. Jonah Jameson. The only thing about that, Dory, is they would have to the writing would have to be really good. I feel like to keep people interested in that. You'd really have to build some pretty strong characters around him. There actually, you know what, Kenneth? There's actually a lot of stuff on Disney Plus as it is. To me, like it's not that they have a deficit of content. It's just that they don't have the newer stuff. I want to see the newer stuff. There's a lot of older stuff on there, and some newer stuff. I guess the Mandalorian being one of them, but they don't have like a lot of the newer Marvel stuff. Is what I want to see. But I mean, I think there's plenty of content. There's a lot of stuff on there. It's just not stuff I'm necessarily looking for me. Oh wow, what? Okay, okay. So Jen Honda saying the He-Man movie is coming from Netflix. Originally Sony had it, but they unfortunately passed it to Netflix. Also, Netflix is doing a He-Man animated. Oh man, a He-Man animated series as well. Woo! I'll tell you, boy, if we get it, I'm down with both of those. The only thing now I'm concerned about is hopefully Netflix has the money or puts the money behind it to do it well. But I can't wait for that. I definitely can't wait for that. I wouldn't mind seeing that either. James actually, and I wouldn't mind James Gunn directing He-Man too. Oh man, who is my favorite Joker, Kenneth? So that's a hard question to answer, and I know a lot of people are probably going to default to Heath Ledger, which is fine because he was great. I don't know who my favorite Joker was. I mean, I probably would say I really liked Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but he's a little bit of a different Joker because he was not in the same capacity as all the other Jokers from the past. Because they all had Batman as their antagonist. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Jack Nicholas too. I also like Ledger. I don't know. I got to think about that one. I got to think about that one. I'm looking forward to the new Matrix movie also, Christopher. I think that's going to be pretty good as well. And I like what they're doing with that too because I like how Reeves is going to be in that, but we still got Michael B. Jordan in there, so I want to see how they work that. But I'm glad though. I'm glad that Keanu is still going to be in it, and they didn't just hang the mantle on Michael B. Jordan and just kind of let it go at that. I feel like they need Keanu to make the transition if they're planning on making more movies with just Michael B. Jordan. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but the Matrix is so iconic. You can't just be like here and give it to someone else and then just have them run with it. You need Keanu to either continue to be in it or at least bridge the gap and help make the transition. I'm really looking forward to that though. I'm curious, you guys, about Star Wars too. How many people are looking forward to the new Star Wars movie or the one coming out this month, which I think is the last one, I believe. I'm curious. I'm curious to know how many folks are looking forward to it, and I'm also curious to know because I was reading some stuff online about how folks that weren't looking forward to it after seeing The Mandalorian are now pumped for the new Star Wars movie. I'm just curious to know how many folks are actually looking forward to it. I am now, kind of. I can't lie. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I kind of want to see how it all comes out. Yeah, well, I know, Christopher. That I think we talked about this. I feel like we talked about how you weren't a big fan of some of the newer stuff in comments on other videos. Me either, really. And you're much more of into what's going on in the Star Wars universe than I am. I don't ask me anything past the original three. I really don't know. Even though now the Mandalorian has really gotten me excited, and I'm starting to look at other stuff. Like now, I've been watching the Clone Wars, the animated series, as well. Um, I don't know, man. Like when I see what they're doing with the Mandalorian, I'm really hopeful for this final or this movie in at the end of this month. So we'll see. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But I've not been a fan of the newer Star Wars stuff. It's just not the same as the originals. Oh, okay. So Jin Han is saying that now he's not really looking forward to it, and the Mandalorian hasn't really moved him closer to it. Hey Matthew, I'm not sure if I said what's up, man. I don't know if I didn't catch you earlier, but if not, what's going on? I heard Matthew, man. I heard the game's really good, and the only reason I haven't bought the game is because I cannot tell you how many games I have for my PlayStation, and I never get a chance to play them. At one point in time, and it might even still be up. I thought about starting a gaming channel. The problem is I'm awful at all of my games except for the Lord of the Rings game. That one's I'm good. Shadows of Mordor I'm really good at. Everything else I'm terrible at. But I haven't bought it because I just haven't. I don't know when I would play it. But I might. You know what? I might buy it, Matthew, and play it over the Christmas break. I work in education for those of you guys who don't know. So in 3 weeks I'm gonna have 2 weeks off. So I might buy it. I heard it's hard though, Matthew. I heard that new game is hard. Oh man. See, I hadn't heard that, Jinhan, about them having a new female Neo. I it's it is. You're right. It's too much political stuff. I agree with you, Christopher. Coming into a lot of a lot of our movies, and I feel like you don't have to push so hard. If you want to if you want to tell a story where you're trying to get a social message across, then just tell the story. Like you don't have to you don't have to be so heavy-handed. Batwoman is a good example of that. You don't have to be so heavy-handed. Just tell the story, man. Which is interesting because I've heard some people complain about Watchmen kind of having a political message to it, and whether that be true or not. But one thing I will say about Watchmen is I do not feel like Watchmen is super heavy-handed with it. I feel like it is kind of the core of the story of Watchmen, but it's not. And this is just my opinion, by the way. You guys, of course, if you disagree with me, let me know. But it's not like super heavy-handed. It's oh man, it's too much. It's just too much. Anyway, I digress. You know what, Dory? I don't know enough to even answer that question about Rise of the Skywalker. I have no idea because, again, I'm not like a Star Wars guy like that. Christopher might know, or someone else may know. I don't know. The question that Dory asked was this. Maybe someone knows. Do I think that Rise of the Skywalker will introduce Great Order, light and dark side forces combined? Anybody know the answer to that? I don't know. Oh, no worries, Matthew. Yeah, I heard, man. I heard the game's a lot of fun, and I have a friend of mine, Cairo, who buys almost every new thing coming out. And he's played it, and he says it's kind of hard, but I heard it's fun. And one of the things he said that reminds me of kind of like a classic RPG is in that when you die, like I think he said something to the effect like you lose all your stuff, or you have to go back and get your XP and all that. And I was like, man, I don't know, man. Like I had enough of that from the original EverQuest. That goes to show you how old I am, which I was playing for a long, long time. But I think I might check it out because I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. Moses, what's going on, man? You know what? I absolutely agree with what you're saying, Moses, about Alien, and I wasn't a big fan of those series of the Alien series. I know people loved it, but I think you're right, man. I think you hit it right on the head. They had female leads, but it was just it was the way that the story was written. Nobody made any big deal about it. It was just so I agree with you, man, 110%. Are you guys talking about the Boyega in the Star Wars script? So, what are some of our most anticipated movies of 2020? That's the question that Jinhan just threw out. Um, so you know what? Hold on. Actually, let me. I actually have this pulled up. You know what? Man, Matthew, you got to clear your schedule, buddy. You got to make some time because we were just talking about C. C is. I don't even know how to classify it. I definitely have it as probably one of my top 5 shows on TV or streaming right now. Man, C is so good. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I mean, you know what? It's definitely worth clearing your schedule, I would say, on a Saturday and just go ahead and binge it, man. It's that good. I forgot about that movie, Dory. I'm actually looking forward to the second season of The Boys as well. Um, where's my? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm also looking forward to the Eternals. We'll see how what Marvel does with that. I'm looking forward to that because I feel like it's going to expand the MCU. I'm looking for. I think Wonder Woman comes out in 2022. Am I right about that? Is Wonder Woman out in 2020? I'm definitely looking forward to that. All right, let me see what you got, Jinhan. So you got The Boys season 2, Warrior season 2. Also, incidentally, let me just repeat this because some folks weren't on when I mentioned it earlier. I have been back and forth with Jason Tobin, who plays Young June, on Instagram. So I'm hoping to connect with him. I told him I would talk to him by Wednesday this weekend so that we can record some Q&A for him so I can put that out. I wanted to try and get him on an actual live stream, but he's in Hong Kong, so there's like a 13-hour difference. I don't know. I'll talk to him on Wednesday. Maybe we can make that happen for next Sunday. But at any rate, make sure that you have all your notification bells on and that you don't miss anything because I'm going to put something up in the community tab about questions for him so that he can answer them when we do the interview. All right, so we got Jen Hans looking forward to Warrior season 2. Yes, Umbrella Academy season 2. Definitely looking forward to that. Man, I can't speak today. Um, I still haven't gotten into Cobra Kai, and everybody and their mom has told me I have to check that out. Looking forward to Castlevania season 3 is Jen Han. Actually, me too. And Lord of the Rings from Amazon. Definitely looking forward to that also. And then C season 2. That's a good list right there. You got Jen Han. That's a really good list. Yeah, man, Moses. I'm looking forward to Eternals. Definitely. I gotta watch Westworld too. I haven't really seen it. I've seen like a handful of episodes with Westworld. Yeah, I gotta check it out. I think I started watching Westworld only because Sherman Augustus I know was in either a few episodes or one of the seasons of Westworld, and because we were watching ITB, he mentioned it, so I started to watch just like a few episodes of it, but I haven't really seen much of it at all. I know, Cobra. I know I'm super late. Everybody's been telling me I gotta check it out. The Dark Crystal is pretty good, James. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty good. I mean, especially given how they produced it and the fact that it's majority of it is done with puppets. It's actually really good. I was surprised at how good it was. I really enjoyed it. and I know we're gonna get a season 2 for that as well. I'm gonna check that out, Cobra. I haven't seen that yet either. The Godfather of Harlem. Yeah, it's hard to catch everything, Christopher. You're right about that. There's a lot of people that want to see the Sonic movie too, Dory, because they're big players of the game. I was never a big Sonic fan myself, but man, I gotta check Westworld out now. A lot of you guys are talking about it so much. All right, guys. Well, I gotta wrap up. I actually want to see the Godfather of Harlem too. A lot of good stuff out there, man. All right, guys. So I gotta wrap up. I'm gonna sign off here. I want to again make sure that you are two things. Make sure that you have your notification bells on so that you catch what's coming on and you catch everything. I don't know how YouTube determines it or not, but I want to make sure you guys are catching what's coming out in the community tab because I want to collect more questions for Jason. So if you have any questions for Jason outside of the video that we did, which was a while ago, that you want to ask him about Warrior, then make sure that you're connected. I'll put something up in the community tab so that you guys can ask it, and then I can ask him when we interview him. If it ends up being an interview that is a standalone video, if I can, I'm gonna try and actually, if I can work it, I'm gonna try and get him on a live stream next Sunday night. I don't know how I'm going to actually end up doing it. It would probably end up me filming it with him or me going live with him. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's not going to work because of the time difference. I have my thinking turned around because I have to take into account what time it is here. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. So, well, yeah, I definitely will check it out. Thanks, everybody. You guys have been awesome. Definitely appreciate it. I will see you guys next week on Sunday. And again, stay connected because I had an idea, but I haven't really fully fleshed it out about actually incorporating more live streams. I know we did that before, but I'm thinking like more live streams, maybe twice during the week. And instead of doing like the individual reviews of things, coming and talking about them on live streams throughout the week. It's just an idea that I'm kicking around in my head. So anyway, I'm gonna ask you guys. I'm probably gonna put it out as a poll in the community tab to get the thoughts of the community. So anyway, thanks for everybody for hanging out. You guys are awesome. You know, it's always love for all of you. Man, you guys make the channel. This is the most fun I have. I mean, the videos are fun to make, but this part is just so much fun to have, and I love the fact that it's small enough for me to actually be able to read most of the comments and respond. It's always great when more people are on, and as you know, I mean, we're definitely working on the channel growing, but it's always a good time, man, with you guys. So definitely appreciate it. All right, everybody. I will catch you later. Peace.